All right, good morning, North America. I hope you're awake. I hope you have your coffee in hand because you're about to hear a lot of fun stuff. First, I want to say thanks for everybody joining us. We're really excited for this presentation this morning, really excited to showcase this technology to you. With us today is the great gentleman from Barnfind Technologies out of Norway, I'd say southern Norway, having just been there. It's a little south of Oslo. With us is Wiggo Evensen and Arild. Arild, I don't want to screw up your last name, man. If you could do it for me, that would be huge.
Skjeggerud.
See, I would have butchered that, brutally. Wiggo being sales and marketing, and Arild being technical and logistics for the company, and one of the brain children behind this product. Hey guys, I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to have you with JB&A. I think your technology is spectacular. I've been following you guys for years, back to your Nevion days, and what you are able to do with just a little bit of fiber in a facility. And that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. We're going to get a brief overview of the company, talk about the technology, and then share with the partners how they can use it to make facilities better, to better utilize the fiber they have in their infrastructure, to generate links between trucks and stadiums, and all these great ways to to push content over fiber, and oftentimes with as little fiber as possible. So with that being said, if you guys would introduce yourselves and the company a little bit, and we'll get started on the fun.
Thanks a lot, Nick. Hope you can hear us from all the way from Norway, and we do our best to talk clear and loud English, and scream out if there is anything you wonder about or write a note.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Thanks for bringing that up, folks. And I apologize to cut you off. There is a handout in the GoToMeeting screen or the GoToWebinar screen. Make sure to download that. And if at any time you have questions, please text them into the question panel, and we'll address them as quickly as possible while the question is still hot in your mind. So apologies, we go back to you.
No problem. Since we actually today have a brand new web pages, we are proud to show them to you as the first customer to look at them, and we were thinking about going through the web page in order for you to see how you can maneuver into our system and do your best to understand what you can. And we meet very soon at your pre-NAB show. We will be exhibiting together with you. We will be there the whole time, answer any question, show you the products together with Nick, and of course you can come to our booth in North Hall N5111 and ask any question you may have. So let's start now. As a startup with the web page, I think about going into About. Here you see our new design with green fronts. We used to be black, total black chassis, black fronts. We changed to gray and to green because we are following the green footprint. So this is the portfolio of 1 RU frames that we call the Barn 1. You see the small green boxes, what we call the Barn Mini, and they come in different flavors. And we are, as Nick said, located here in south of Norway, 2 hours south of Oslo, the main capital city. We have on this About section, as you see here, a couple of opinions about us, because we have been working worldwide for myself for 27 years on fiber, starting with German companies, working for German companies, working for Norwegian companies before I started Network Electronics that became Nevion. So I was the CEO and founder of Nevion. For 9 years, have been by Net Insight, has worked for different German companies, selling for Grass Valley, Probel, etc., etc., Miranda. As we know the business. And my colleague here nearby, Arild, he was the 4th person that I hired by Nevion, and he has been all around the world. In particular, he has been down in Asia and worked a lot on the logistical side. So we are very few people, but we have managed in a very short time frame to move mountains. We feel we have been selling to a lot of clients like MotoGP, Formula 1, US Air Force. We have sold to Coca-Cola in US. We have sold to All Mobile Video. We are with our old partner into to Major League Baseball, into UFC and material arts fighting. So we have a lot of clients to tell you about when we see you over in Las Vegas. You see here on the contacts, you will see some of our names. You see myself, Wiggo, you see Arild, Stian, you see Benno that will be at NAB, Anil will be at NAB. You see a range of partners. We are into some 60 countries worldwide. And now also updated today, JB&A and Digital Glue will disappear from partner list in this year, and then it only be JB&A. And you see news section and news as for today. We were here, you can see on the left side, we were selected as a platform for critical telemedicine projects. You see we were announcing the participation at JB&A's pre-NAB event. And here you will see the news we are showing at NAB. So if you click on any of these, you can read much more. So Barnfind is not only attacking the post-production, the broadcast, but we also very much are fitted for telemedicine, cruise ships, oil, gas, house of worship, many other adjacent markets we are very much into. So we do a lot of shows all around the world, and we have very, very fit partners here in Europe. And I would say 70% of our sales are now in Europe. We would say some 20 in Asia and only 10 in the US, and that's something we hope to change with JB&A in the very next future. So that's very short about us. You find also what is very, I don't go in there now, but you will see if you hit the video button, you can physically go in and do a playlist, and you will understand much more when you are watching these movies, especially the first one. Under products, you will see sorry, our product families. You will see the Barn 1 family, the Barn Mini family, the stage boxes, our SFPs, our optical products, and some of the control system. And by hitting, for example, the Barn 1 family as the first one, you will see here some general information about the Barn 1 frame concept. You can read about some advantages. All these things here are the same for all frames. Then you can hit the button here, go directly to the product overview. You will see each and every frame down here. This means you can see and click, for example, if you would like to know more about the Barnfind frame 06, you hit the button, you will see how it looks in the front on a visual drawing. You will see how to connect it at the rear side of the frame. You will then have some technical specification, and directly under every product, if it's Barn 1 or Barn Mini, you will see use cases. For example, mixed signal stage box. Click on that use cases, you will automatically go in and you can read about what we are doing as a sample. This is just samples. So this is the structure of our products and web.
Hey, Wiggo, as long as we're right here, I think it's a great chance to introduce the Barn 1 for somebody who doesn't know what it is and talk about about the Barn 1 for a second. So if you can go back to sort of a bigger screen, let's look at this box for a second. I mean, this is your flagship product. This is the key piece to sort of, you know, the goal of what Barn 1 does. And if you guys would explain it a little bit deeper, it is a extremely flexible router.
That is very true, Nick. So first of all, as I said, under each product family, here also by Barn 1 family, you will see a picture, you will see some wording, and you will also see some of the specification behind every product. So as you say, Nick, a full 32 by 32 router inside every frame. Whatever signal that enters the system can be routed to any output, distributed, converted, monitored, analyzed. I just warn you, it takes a while to get around what we physically do, it seems to be a very simple box, but it can do a lot of things. So you're
well, let's talk about that for a second, because you said, you know, whatever signal enters the system. So let's talk about what types of signals can come into the signal. I mean, to the system. HDMI, traditional fiber.
Yeah, here, Nick, down here, you see KVM, STTI from, for example, EVS. This, the IP SIM222. That's also what we have with us at NAB. We will show the last embryonics development with those SFPs. You see, right. We can see MADI, SDI, AnyType, Ethernet, 4K 60p, workflows, HDMI, DVI, serial, GPI, GPO, analog video, and not to forget, we are probably, I haven't seen any other vendor making it possible to switch up to 18 different camera CCU signals on one single fiber.
Because this is really amazing, because I don't know of any other routers on the market that support all these different types of signals. Most of them do a few of these inside of one frame, but rarely do you get a product that you can put all the different source types that you may have in a facility and route them, you know, in one box. That's, I think, what really makes you guys powerful from that direction. That, you know, before we even start talking about, you know, the muxing of signals.
That is very true, Nick, and we see competitors doing a lot of signals, but that's very often, in 99% of the cases, fixed. So you can, for example, if you look at guys like Broman and other ones, they have fixed systems. By us, you can actually on the fly say, today I would like to have, let's say, 6 camera CCU signals. Let me have 3 HDMI, 2 KVM signals, 2 MADI, 1 Ethernet, and that's for today's workflow. Tomorrow you go to a new event. Let's say you are the arranger of MotoGP. You have a race in Singapore 1 month and you set it up as you wish down there. Then you go to Austin in Texas and run MotoGP race, and you have a complete different setup. This means you can, on the fly.
If you roll back up to the picture there of the router, you know, I think one thing that I want to point out to everybody is those SFP positions are what give you that flexibility to conform the system based on the needs at the moment. So there's an SFP for SDI, there's an SFP for HDMI or for Ethernet, or just bringing in a fiber signal from SMPTE 2022. So the flexibility that you're speaking to, being able to conform this box, all has to do with these SFP modules that you can change, you know, like you're saying, on the fly based on what the environment needs or what you're trying to achieve that week.
That is very true, and not to forget, if you look at most competitors like Evertz, Grass Valley, let's say other guys in fiber, what they usually do is that they have SFPs that is non-MSA compatible. This means you have to have their system because a proprietary SFP, usually very expensive, for example, like Evertz CVDM SFP, means typically $1,000 or more, by us a portion. And not to forget that we here in Barnfind, we believe in the Linux thinking, meaning that you can actually buy all as MSA SFPs from us, and we recommend that because we give up to 5 years warranty. But you can actually on Google or Alibaba buy your own SFPs as long as they are MSA compatible and use them yourself.
That's spectacular. So you've got, or you know, we now, since we're helping to push this product, have a whole collection of SFPs that are certified or built by the Barnfind team that support this, or you can bring in other SFPs as long as they're MSA compliant. To be able to use. So if a client has existing SFPs, we can reuse them. If they need to get new ones, no problem. So this is a very good thing.
That is very true, Nick, and we have clients buying, for example, 12 of or even more. I think by MotoGP we have some 100 of these frames, and what they do, they buy the frames and they buy coaxial SFPs from Embryonics, and they buy their own HDMI SFPs. They have some optical SFPs, and they find them in the market. So we have many clients on the top level that use our boxes as a motor highway, and they arrange for the cars respective SFPs to go in there. So we're saying we have given you a motor highway where we allow you over the router, over the system, to have any cars running on our motor highway as long as they are MSA in the front of the SFP.
So this goes beyond, just bringing in SDI and traditional video signals. This could be data, GPIO triggers, Ethernet. So we've got all these other options that are part of the bigger infrastructure that an environment may be using, and we're able to route that on the panel as well.
Yeah, and also if you look at every SFP, that can be either a send or receive, meaning you can have a transceiver that goes in and out from the same SFP. If you go to the other products and you look at one, let's say this one with BNCs, here you can have the BNC to be either an input or an output, and on the software you decide on the fly if this should today or in this minute be an input or an output.
That's really flexible. So I think this is a really good time for me to talk. I think one of the most, I think one of the greatest features that that I've learned from what you guys are able to offer is the ability to take camera CCUs, complete with return video and audio and all the data that goes through a traditional camera CCU to the camera through the frame, and then combine those to a single fiber. So this, for me, this is one of the most powerful ways to use your technology. So can we talk about what that looks like for a minute? I think you've got a really neat drawing that kind of shows the architecture of that.
That's very true. So if you, again, this is the Barnfind family, hitting the button, and you choose, let's say, number 4 here we talked about. Then we go down after the specification and you look at the use cases. And Arild, should we take this one or this one? You would like to take this one, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think let's look at this one. This is great. I think this is an amazing story. So for anybody who's looking at building stadiums or having their main production facility farther away from their control room than normal camera CCUs would allow, this is a spectacular use of this technology. So let's talk about what we have here. So we've got a Barn1 frame with the camera and the CCU signal feeding into it. And then that goes to the CWDM multiplexer. So let's talk about what that is for a minute.
Okay, let me take over, Nick. Just to explain the system in general. We want to transport the signals from the camera to the CCU, and then we want the signals from CCU back to the camera. It includes the video, the audio, the tally, intercom, and the control panel. So we want everything into the same fiber. In the camera transmission to CCU, there are 2 optical fibers, and most of the cameras are transmitting in the wavelength 1310, which is a standard wavelength. And so does the CCU. So we have 2 optical fibers with the same frequency of light. So what we do is that we bring the optical signal into our frame, the Barn1 frame, and we route the signal over to a CWDM SFP, and then we change the light to a specific wavelength. And we can do this on all the cameras. In fact, we can do it all up to 18 cameras in one single fiber. And the transport is from short distance up to about 60 kilometers, which means in miles.
So Arild, let's just pause on that for a second. So that's 18 cameras, 1 fiber. Yeah. And I just want everybody to dwell on that for a moment, because you think about, ordinarily if you were doing this with just SMPTE fiber cables, what 18 SMPTE fiber cables would look like, what 18 SMPTE connectors would look like, and we're breaking that down to 1 fiber between a truck and a stadium that can carry 18 camera signals, plus intercom, plus control, all that, again, over 1 fiber. To me, that's spectacular. If I'm designing a stadium or I'm building a truck interconnect system between the stadium and the building, and knowing that I can simplify the amount of cable I need, the amount of fiber I need, or maximize the amount of fiber I already have by allowing that fiber to be used for other content as well.
And also remember, Nick, that you can also mix in other signals as well. You can put HDMI in there. You can put Ethernet link as well, and some other SDI channels, SDTI, any other signal you can put into the same fiber, along with it.
Or data to the truck. If we need to share network over to the truck that's connecting in, we can bring the network in. So yeah, so it really gives us a massive flexibility to utilize that one fiber between the two locations. And this just isn't truck. I sort of reference trucks a lot, but if this is a medical application and we're talking about the cameras in the OR getting pulled out to the control room, which is in a different building, along with intercom and all the other connectivity that we might have between that building. Again, very secure because nothing's going to break that fiber link without, and it allows us to then secure that content from location A to location B.
That is very true, and we have, for example, All Mobile Video in New York. They have some 25 frames at the moment, I think, and they used it in the same week for Miss Universe, the Pope's visits in New York, and US Open Tennis. So they had many shows in a row and used the same gear with just different configuration on the fly using Barn Studio. Our own software comes free of charge together with the Barn one. You can download it from the webpage actually and see it and read about it in the Barn guide. We will come back to that, but it's very simple, but you need to have your hands around it. And again, it's a good chance coming up now in a few days on your pre-NAB show, plus at our booth for 4 days. We'll be happy to have you on our booth to show you this live, how it all works.
Yeah, so what Wiggo is referencing, if anybody doesn't know, so just prior to NAB, we have a 2-day event that these guys are gonna be at with the gear, so we can you can see it all, touch it, play with it, ask great questions prior to NAB, so that if you're gonna be there during the week or you have clients coming during the week, you'll get a head start on what you need to show them.
Very good.
Now, for the designers in the room, notice that, and this is one of my favorite things, you guys are sort of catering to designers that every one of the products has Visio drawings available to it. So if anybody's doing their drawings for clients or mock-ups for their design work, all the templates they need to pull it off are available for Visio. So it's just good to know that it's all there. And then you're on the Barn 1 guide. Oh, you have a full icon pack. Nice.
So you see all the pack here, you can download all of them. You see a different product overview, you see the Barn guide, you can download the technical manual directly from the web, of course. You can go in here and you will see very easily, you can scroll down and you see it also will come out at Barn guide number 2.8, this is 2.7, but it's also more technical. Here you see the old design that will be changed in the new version coming out, Arild, in in a week's time. Here again, the router inside, all SFP ports are bidirectional, meaning send or receive. VNC can be either input or output. All outputs are reclocked. That's also very seldom. That's also why we are extremely good with jitter and latency. That's also why we can do CAM-CCU and other demanding solution that no competitor like Lavo, Riedel, Everts can do so easily, because they have one box for fiber, one for router, etc. So they can build 5-6 rack units, while we are gathering everything in one RU. That's the main secret of Barnfind. One frame doing anything.
So if we jump back to the other page for a minute, and we're looking at the frames there. Now, in the document that we were just showing everybody, we noticed that the multiplexer was separate from the router, but you also have routers with the multiplexer built in, depending on the client's needs.
2 seconds, just closing this one. Here we go. So, yeah, sorry. Can you repeat the question?
So I wanted to talk about the multiplexer. So in the document we were showing a moment ago with the CAM-CCUs, we were multiplexing outside of the router, but I also want to show that there is multiplexing built into some of the routers. So if you're building a fixed environment, we've got that ability right there.
So you can see we have different choices. You see number 1 frame, The basic is 16 SFP slots. Here on this board at the bottom, you also have the router, you have the control system. Then we can build blocks on the top where you can see, you can, for example, have 8 blocks of 8 BNCs. You can see that we have a CVDM mux integrated. You can see we have the one we showed you recently, just now, with 32 SFP slots. We have them 2 times CVDM muxes. Let's say you come here in from San Rafael with some lines. You route it, you add drop pass, and you can go out from San Rafael, for example, over to another building here by you or another neighbor town. Let's say max distance 60-80 kilometers, can be longer with optical repeater. And then the most sold system is this one with 16 BNCs, 16 SFPs. Number second is the one with 32 SFPs, and the one also popular to save space is to integrate the mux into the chassis so that you have 8 BNCs, 16 SFPs plus the optical mux up to 16 channels. So that's called the BTF1 Barn 107. So 16 SFPs, 8 BNCs, 8 or 16 channel mux, all in one RU.
So that's everything you need right there in a single box to sort of start the transmission, and then a similar one on the other side could take that signal and break it back out pretty easily back to its original sources.
Exactly. And again, if you go in and look at this one, you see how it looks like, you see the technical specification, and again, you see the use cases.
Nice.
And I think, Nick, what you have now received in San Rafael is 2 pieces of this one.
No, we've got the one with the SDI with the BNCs on it. So I think the 07.
Yeah. Sorry, it's hang on. I go behind there 2 seconds. I was just hitting wrong button. Here we go.
So what Wiggo's referencing, folks, is we're going to have this one at NAB set up sending and receiving signals with 2 of these frames right here, so you can see in a demonstration what the technology looks like and get into the software. But it's I also have this as a demo system if we need to go out and showcase it on site with a client. Shall we talk about the minis? I think it's a good segue now that we've sort of introduced the large frame to talk about how we can then use the small throwdown boxes.
That's good, Nick. And you see here typically Barn Mini that we sold many of. You see it's 2 slots for SFPs in this case with the Barn Mini 2. You can go in, for example, multi-mode, 5 SFP in and single mode SFP out. With this box you then convert from multi-mode to single mode. You can do Ethernet in and fiber out. So you can do many different things. You can come in here with a HDMI SFP, transmit it over to a normal optical SFP, transmit your optical HDMI to another box and pack it out again on the other side. So our SFPs goes into Barn 1 as well as Barn Mini and can be used in all our boxes. And you see here some sales arguments for Barn Mini, general, and then you can hit this button for the product overview. Then you see all our named up to 12. We are missing here from 8 to 9 and 10 is missing, coming up soon. But you see here Barn Mini 11 on the 12G. You see the frame you can put up to 16 of the Barn Mini into. And by hitting, for example, this one, you go in for a picture of the model Barn Mini 01, the most sold unit. With you come in electrically and you can go out with a HDMI SFP. You can go out with a normal optical SFP. You can take a telco DVDM SFP, dense wave division multiplexing out and go 120 kilometers out. Here is the rear where you find grounding as well as you find a female contact that can go into the single standalone power, or we can have it into the large frame. Then you see technical specification, and again use cases, how to use Barn Mini. And then you see a sample how a Barn Mini can be used. So here the product overview, we have different styles. We have the Barn Mini 1, Barn Mini 2 I mentioned. We also have made our own HDMI SFPs, and this one is, for example, what US Air Force is using. They use it for monitors, different monitors they have inside their facilities, among others in Las Vegas. For supervising trucks in Syria and other places, they are using actually our small green boxes to display on their monitors. You go in HDMI and you can go out on fiber. You go to the other fiber, but let's say 20 kilometers between them, and then you can pack it out on HDMI again. So these comes handy, often sold in pairs or as standalone boxes. Mostly sold is a 04, which is then one SFP and one TX HDMI. One special one is the Barn Mini 5, where you actually have, this is the only one which is controllable. We can have the Barn Studio control this, often used as with GPOs and 42485 for advanced signal redundancy switching, for example. And you can have signals from Barn 1 frame telling that if something happens, it's set a GPO that again can control the Barn Mini 6 and switch from fiber line 1 to the redundancy fiber number 2. This is very advanced things we will tell you much more about. Nick, should Arild take some more explanation on this now, or should we save it?
No, we can save that and finish out this line up here first, and then we'll come back to the optical changeovers.
Okay.
But I would like to hit the frame for a minute. So I mean, well, I think something that really for me that sets you all apart from the other manufacturers who make throwdown boxes is your frame. So you've got this really nice clean frame where you can slot up multiple units. But one thing that's different from your frame than most of the others on the market is that the power distribution is built into the frame for each unit.
That is what we have is we have a standalone. We have either, if you have a simple box, only one Barn Mini, we have a standalone power. If you choose to gather them in one of these Barn Mini frames, like this one, you can have up to 16 pieces of Barn Mini. What's unique with our system is that compared to Lynx or most other ones, they have some modules with 5 volts, some with 12 volts. What we have done is to have same voltage on every SFP. And remember, on every Barn Mini, you have a female contact that goes with the male from this frame. You can just stack them in as you wish, and automatically you have been powering them up.
Nice. Clean and simple. So it really cleans up the spaghetti mess of cables when you've got multiple Barn, of these small format boxes in a rack or in a box. It makes it really clean and easy to put them all in.
Yes.
Now, an interesting use case, I was just recently talking with a client that had a problem with getting SMPTE 2022 signal at, inside a facility over to SDI. And, it was a very easy solution to take a box like this with the SMPTE 2022 SFP module and create a very small format throwdown box that solved that exact problem for him.
Yeah, this will be the Barn Mini 12 that can handle the 10G or 12 gigabit pathological SDI and convert it to SMPTE 2022.6. That's something companies like Embryonics are doing, and what we have been trying to do. Let me first finish the Barn Mini series.
Sure.
So then Barn Mini 7 is for example, 4 channels of as a quad 4K, 4 times 3G. You can have in here, for example, so you can build smaller CVDM muxers, not only 8 or up to 18, but also in this format 4 channels, but you can also upgrade it, so you can have up to 8 with the upgrade port. We have optical splitters in 1 to 2, 1 to 4. You divide optical budget in 2 or 4. Again, we have the Barn Mini 11 and 12, which is the brother or sisters of the Barn Mini 1 and 2. These are for 3G. These Barn Mini 11, 12 are for 12 gigabit, also for 4K. And this is what we are known for, is that we have products that is, let's say the Barn 1, we go to 1 frame. What we are having as our specialty and as a promise, we can, in the slots above the main card here in the bottom, we can for the future integrate cards up here, which is, for example, now already coming at NAB, the analog audio or the digital audio, but also there are cards from different encoding manufacturers, it's different compression companies doing, for example, one card coming out from us in the future will be a card here that do the Tico Alliance compression, the MPEG compression, the JPEG compression. That card will be placed here. So what we are saying is that with Barnfind you actually can have the best and most smart solution where we give you a unique migration from traditional video transport to the coming IP world. So 1 frame by Barnfind is the greenest. No competitor can house that many functions in 1 frame. Very smart move to take a system that can actually be expanded in the same frame or in the new frame, but still is a 1 RU. Is then of course very affordable. You can calculate your CapEx, OpEx to all purchase people satisfaction. We are the most compact, and what we will show you more in Las Vegas is our very advanced signal redundancy that we have been building for a lot of telco installations around in Europe, where we were actually headhunted to make very, very sophisticated signal redundancy. And that takes a quite long time to explain, and I suggest you read about it on the press releases. You can have a small teaser here where, let me see, we have this one where we have then a little bit more information about, hang on, sorry, that was not the right one, hang on, 2 seconds, maybe something we just missed there. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, it's new web page here. We are very sorry about that. Hang on. Anyhow, you can see a teaser at the news at NAB. We are displaying the signal redundancy switch, and there is much more to know about it. But we will come back to that. It's just dropped out of our presentation here. We didn't check that one. Okay, that's Barn 1, it's Barn Mini. We have also SFPs, and again, you will have an overview of transceiver modules, bidirectional modules, CVDM, high-low SFPs, and that's also what you can read about in the Barn guide. The high-low actually makes it possible to take up to 36 channels, meaning bidirectional 18 channels bidirectionally on 1 single fiber. This is specially made for Barnfind, but still MSA compatible. On exotic side, we mean more analog SFPs, we mean HDMI SFPs, Ethernet SFPs, etc. So if you go into transceiver modules, you will see that you can go from 1.25 for Ethernet or for audio. You will see the SDI, you will see the 3G, the 10G, the 6G, the 12G for single mode, and you will see some up to 3G for multi-mode. So we have a long range of SFPs. They are all tested since 2010 from Barnfind. We run them here by us. So all of this is partly our own development. Some are standard, but we can only recommend you to go to Barnfind and look at our prices. We are more expensive than what you can find on Google and Alibaba, but still you get 2 to 5 years warranty on our side.
Yeah, I would add on this. This is important to note. So, you know, part of Benno's job and our job is to help specify the right SFPs for the job. You know, so bringing things in and out of the frame, no problem, but making sure we've got it for the right wavelength when we go into CWDM. So by all means, if you have an application that you're trying to put together for a client, reach out to us or reach out to the team over in Norway to make sure we're specifying the right SFPs for the right application.
Exactly, Dick. That's a good point. We help you out with that. If you have something you would like to solve, just tell us how many signals from A to B do you have, what's the distance, what is the signal types you have, do you have MADI, do you have what kind of video, do you have KVM, HDMI, do you have any camera signals? Let us know and we will calculate, we will give you a visual drawing, bill of materials, you will have exact what you will need to quote to your client. Here is the stage box that we recently also, because many clients would like us to build something, like Major League Baseball and other ones, they have a need, to have a quick change of fiber lines. They can go in and just use a small, tiny stage box where we have different modules, like for example, we have XLRs, we have BNCs, we have different LC modules. You can also have your LEMO, CCU, or camera directly connected. Like you see them here, you can buy them yourself and place them into these plates that comes without the connector, or buy them from us. And again, we have here a chance to house them in one area, and you can have up to 10 more different modules in a Barnfind stage box, and you will see them again, samples, mixed signal stage. You will then find how to use them. For example, here you see you can use them to take out some cameras, etc., etc. So this is just showing a sample how to use the stage box. And we have just started delivering, but we are amazed to see how popular it's already become. On the other side, we have some optical products. We went through them partly. You will see a frame up to 4 slots where you can have up to 4 different types. You can have 2 channels VDM, you can have 8 channels, 16, 18, different optical splitters, changeover switches, etc. So this is the family of passive optical products. Not to forget, least and last, the control. This will be a topic when we see you, because any installation, any client has a favorite software program. Maybe they like the Open Gear dashboard, maybe they like the DNF control, maybe they even like Blackmagic. So we have integrated all of these protocols, because as new kid in town, starting the sales in 2012, we needed to be flexible. We needed to let the client decide, oh, I would like to use my, for example, in trucks, VSM, the Labo VSM, LSB is very popular here in Europe, start to get some traction in US. Or they say we need to have DNF control, like NBC that just last year invested for $1 million just in DNF control. Then of course it's very practical that you can tell the client, what control do you have? Fine, Barnfind have already integrated it, and then it's very quick to set up the infrastructure and let Barnfind be part of the existing system. And
so that might be a good, I would say, is that a good time to talk about the software for a moment, specifically to the Barn Studio software?
Yes, we can do that. Maybe we go to the Barn Guide, Arild. I think we can go to the Barn Guide. Let me do that, 2 seconds.
So everybody, while we're pulling that down, the Barn software here is really where you set up, configure, and you can run a router from in this, but ideally it's where you're really going to set up, configure, and monitor your Barn 1 frame.
So we don't download the software here, but that's something we definitely will not show you live at NAB. This is, if you go to the Barn Guide, download that one, you will see at page 41, you will see the Barn Studio and how it's laid out. It's very straightforward, simple. You find here system where you have all the inputs and all the outputs. You get how to start installing the Barn Studio. Here you have your frame, your computer, and you can then install it here, or you can also use the web server and use the web server version. You will see the device list down here. What kind of routers systems have you added to the Barn Studio? It will automatically find your unit. You can choose among IP version 4 or IP version 6. You see different how to use it, basic information, the system name, the system location, where are you, is it in Los Angeles, San Rafael, the system contact, the SIMD properties, the network itself, it's all coming up automatically. Then you see also how you can configure, and you will see by every different thing you can put something of text. You will see from the Barn Guide exactly what's happening, and then you have a log, and then you have the matrix itself where you have all the inputs and you have all the outputs, and it's very simple to set up the system and all the connection. And on the input side, you want to tell anything about this, Arild? Yeah. So it's just showing you different. Yeah, you can. It's free of charge. You can download it. We don't do it today. It's too short time. So the inputs is described. You see the outputs. The outputs you can actually lock. You can say you would like to reclock at SDI 270 or 1.5 HD SDI or 3G SDI. So every output can be locked to a certain data rate, or you can have auto, which means it just runs through. Then you will have also a very nice thing here. All SFPs you may put into any slot of Barn Mini will pop up if you hit the button SFPs. Here you see Barnfind SFPs, and in number 5 and 6 there may be a third-party SFP. If there are information, we will read them, and you will, whatever information you can read of non-Barnfind SFPs, we will read out and tell you in this overview. If you click on one SFP, you will get a further information on the power of that SFP, the temperature, the TX voltage, everything will be here. Whatever can be read out of the DDMI system that most SFPs have, it will be read out. So it's very nice way to do things. You will see the firmware upgrade. You can see what firmware version you have. Do you want to update? Diagnostics, everything inside, if it's a reclocker or if it's whatever it is, will be monitored, and you will see the diagnostics in a separate log if something is wrong. So you can monitor the system. We have connecting to third party via SNMP, via the known SWP08, where most people are hooked up, the Blackmagic Video Hub, the Barnfind web page, and you see just some of the names here like DNF, Blackmagic, Skyline. You see the dashboard where we have done a lot of systems together with Ross. Barnfind has done a lot of different systems around here in Europe. Yeah, that's a good thing about it. And other downloads, the visual we talked about, SNMP MIB file, if you would like to do your own integration You will see exactly how to integrate your own software. Many third-party companies use this one, and they have done integration to their own system within an afternoon. Solution, all of solutions will come here. Many solutions will come here. You can go in and click on everything. You can read about and try to understand what we're doing, and you can actually open high resolution PDF to more clearly see what we actually are doing. And here you see we have been describing what kind of SFPs we have. Okay, so this is the products, the solutions. We have videos where you can go in and look at every video. Support, the barn care, what we are giving is a standard 2-year, can be extended to 5-year. You can read more about Barnfind here. We have the contacts here, and you will see all the news sections always here at the news and also at the end. And here you can read about the NAB show where you can see us at, and also the pre-NAB show for JB&A where we automatically go in and show your event. That's it, folks.
Hey guys, listen, thank you so much for staying up late to hang out with us over here in the States today. I know it's getting towards the end of the day for you guys, so I appreciate it. But I want to go back for a minute and just remind everybody, look, anytime you think fiber, no matter the environment, be it broadcast, KVM between data, data departments, production, live production with your TriCasters, KVMs. I mean, anytime you think of extension or fiber, really it's time to think about Barnfind. Whenever you think about trying to pull multiple fibers and you really want to limit that exposure by having so many transmitters and receivers and bring that down to as few fiber as possible, or just get the most out of every fiber you pull, guys, it's really time to think Barnfind. So by all means, come see us at NAB, come see us before NAB over the weekend, but if you've got any projects you're working on right now where you're puzzling with the idea of how to use your fiber, or you haven't really thought about putting fiber in, now's the time to do it, and here's the technology to use. So really excited to have this in the stable here at JB&A, and we couldn't have picked a better partner to work with in Barnfind. So guys, again, thank you very much. Appreciate it. If there's any questions that come around after, folks, while you're thinking about it, feel free to email the team here at sales@jbna.com, and we'll get somebody on the phone with you as quick as possible to get those questions answered. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much for staying up late to hang out with us here. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in a couple of weeks.
We see you in Las Vegas, and thanks for following us today. Thank you.
No worries. All right, everybody.
Bye-bye.